Hello everybody, it's been a month since my last update. I'm not being lazy, but it's just been very boring in the markets. September has turned out to be extremely volatile and a lot of bad news and negativity. And I think the markets were completely spooked, and therefore you see the REITs and not just REITs but equities all over, especially on STI, dumping to new lows and all-time lows and stuff. This made my conviction earlier in this year of selling every REIT in the STI and everything in the STI smart choice actually. So for this month and this quarter, the focus has actually been on just buying back everything in the STI that I sold. In general, the stuff that I sold in STI in March this year, like 10, 15, 20%, 30% lower. So I'm just happy to buy everything back actually. So this was the position as of June of this year. You can see this is the REIT portfolio that I have. I'm not including the other equities though. This is just my REIT portfolio. And since then, there have been quite a fair bit of changes. The first thing that I did was to sell Clint. So I sold it at 1.19. I thought this price was insanely expensive. And overall, the returns have been pretty good for this guy because I bought this stuff at the preferential offering, right, at 1.06. So in a few months, it gave me a more than 15% return. So I'm happy with it. I think there are a lot of folks in this channel who really hate this REIT, and they really hate everything to do with India and everything to do with the rupee. I am okay with it. For me, a REIT is a good REIT when it can make me money. A REIT is a bad REIT when it loses me money. So I'm indifferent to the geography and stuff. The second thing I did was to sell Paragon REIT. I was really surprised that the markets did not tank the day after that announcement because I thought the TPU drop was stunning. The rise in the cost of debt was stunning as they refied around 30% of the debt, I think. So I dumped everything on 935 and never looked back. And next thing you know, boom, 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 boom. I think the news about the Seletar Mall being put up for sale, people were expecting a fundraising to purchase this Seletar Mall. Might have spooked the share price. I'm not really sure what happened, but anyway, at these levels, the DPU and the dividend yield is not attractive to me at all. So I'm not even looking at it for the time being. The major thing that happened though was to buy Fleet FLCT. Man, I sold this stuff earlier in the year at 1.35 very aggressively, and there were a lot of bad comments about it actually. People saying that this is a good read and I shouldn't sell it and blah blah. You know, a good read is a good read, but a good read at the expensive price is a bad read. So I sold everything earlier at 1.35, and now everything is just much lower. I'm not very sure why people are selling it so aggressively, but well, since I sold everything, and I remember last year, this stuff was like more than 10% of my portfolio, right? It's like 12, 14% of my portfolio. This guy has done me really well through the COVID crisis, and it helped protect my portfolio actually, giving me a very good dividend yield. So I had to buy everything back actually. So now this guy has gone from 0 to 10% in just I think 4 days. Because I sold this stuff in earlier August, and then in early September, right? And since then I didn't touch the capital. I just let it sit there in my multiplier account earning interest. And now that over the past 4 days, this stuff has just collapsed below to 107, 108, 106. So I'm very happy to buy it at 1.07. This is not all that I bought though. I just can't be bothered to do a bunch of screenshots, but I bought a lot of this stuff. And now this stuff is at 10% of my portfolio. I am expecting a DPU hit for this guy by the time they refi their debt for 2024. But nonetheless, at these current levels, current DPU yield is around 6.5%. So even if next year they take a 10% hit to the DPU, it still be around 6% yield. And the gearing is very low at less than 30%. And they have no idiotic perps or whatever nonsense going on in their books. One bad thing is that they are exposed to FX risk, but at current levels and the strength of the manager, I'm happy to take this guy actually. In fact, I like Maple Tree Industrial Trust a lot. I like FLCT a lot. And I'm very happy with the purchase actually. Very glad that the markets have sold this stuff down to 1.07. If this guy goes below 1.05, I'll be aggressively buying up again. I'm happy to go for this guy to 15, 16% of the portfolio. So right now you can see Maple Tree Industrial Trust is 15%. I think I'm happy to go another 50% more in the weightage of this company, of this REIT. The rest of the REITs not much changes. FEST remain the same, AIMS the same, Capo, I sold a bunch, and I'm sure people understand why, because I have an outsized position in Capo, and I'm going to receive a bunch of Capo REIT in dividend and specie. In fact, they called for EGM recently, so this is going to be transacted quite soon. I expect a lot of trackers that bought Capo Corp to then receive Capo REIT units, and then they'll be selling this stuff regardless of the price, right? They'll be price indifferent because they just want to get out of everything. And if this price goes to insanely cheap levels, I'll be happy to buy back everything actually. ESR has completely disappointed me. This is a shit position. It went from 8% to 7%. I didn't sell anything. It was just a collapse in the share price. It collapsed by 10% in a single day. I'm not sure what happened. Totally buyer's remorse about this REIT. I'm not gonna touch this in the future anymore, I hope. MIT is the same, Sahil is the same, CLCT, another really badly beaten down REIT. It's fallen from 13% to 10%. I didn't sell anything. This is just because the share price collapsed. My god, this never really thought that the change in the president of a country can have so much effect on the country's economy and the future and foreign policy and stuff. This is amazing. It's been a very, very painful position to watch, very painful position to hold. But nonetheless, I'm not stop lossing this position anytime soon. I think the selling has been overdone. But nonetheless, I think there's also justification because of the way the renminbi has been weakening. But anyway, let's just buy and hope. So another thing is the Ascot. I bought quite a fair bit of Ascot because of the preferential offering. Now it's now 4%. I think this is a pretty good play on the recovery of the tourism sector. So if you look at the portfolio for the REITs portfolio, I now have around 16% of my portfolio exposed to the tourism sector. I think it's pretty good. I also increased my stake in iREIT by around 10% because of the preferential offering. Given the current DPU and the way they hedge the debt, the next refi will be like 2026 or something. I think they're well protected from rate increments from the time being, and I think there's some value unlocking going on in the Berlin properties and stuff. There will be some downward pressure on the occupancy in the meantime, but I think the long run this is going to be quite decent. In the meantime, I collect 7-8% dividend yield to wait for the eventual value unlocking. So that's it for this quarter's update for the REITs portfolio. It's been extremely volatile. It's been and somewhat depressing at sometimes because it's just bad news all the time. Fed is more hawkish and now pricing down 50 basis points of cuts in 24, 50 basis points of cut in 25. So in total 1% of cuts ruled out for the next 2 years, right? And then you have BOJ also looking to unwind their what yield curve controls, and the inflation is picking up again with crude hitting 100, near to 100. RBA also hiking because of the rise in inflation, and you have JP Morgan's Jamie Dimon coming out to say that the Fed will raise rates to 7%, and that's a fiction. Really depressing. The best thing to do is just close your eyes, don't listen to the news too much, and just enjoy your life. Go shopping on Shopee, man. It's great. Yeah, it's been a very good time shopping on Shopee.